Southeastern Championship Wrestling. Innovators in television wrestling with split screen, instant replay, and other technical firsts. The program voted #1 by the Wrestling Writers Federation. Join us now for a fast-paced competition of professional wrestling featuring the top stars from the world's largest governing body, the National Wrestling Alliance.
There's a man coming back joining us at the desk right now.
A lot of action coming your way in the next hour, and a lot of big issues taking place in the Southeastern wrestling area. Welcome back. I know the circumstances are not what you would like for them to be.
No, not exactly, but I just have to say to your question, I'm very glad to be back and very glad to be healthy.
Indeed. There are some people who are less fortunate than you this week, and one of those being your brother, Ron Fuller.
That's true. You know, it's a dangerous profession, but now and again you run into somebody who has some kind of plan outside going in the ring and beating somebody heads up. And that one is Bob Armstrong, and he proves it with a piece of film that you've got. And I've seen it before, but I'd like to watch it again now and speak with the people just face to face a little bit.
Let's go back to Mobile's Municipal Auditorium. Championship, the NWA Heavyweight Championship of the World on the line as Ron Fuller meets Ric Flair. Special referee for this match, supposedly longtime friend of yours, friend of Ron's, and that's Bob Armstrong.
That's true about the friendship thing, where it used to stand. You know, I've been wrestling for 11 years professionally. I started right out of school, and been friends with Bob Armstrong for 10 of that 11 years. And friends, I say, is a lot in standard with what you're seeing right now. What you're watching right now, it symbolizes what I'm saying, and that Bob Armstrong appears to be doing a good refereeing job at this point. But I'd like to ask you right now, is it not obvious to you, after seeing the end of this film one time, that he had in mind the total time of this match, that Ron Fuller would not win the world's title from Ric Flair?
Robert,
is that not pretty obvious?
Robert, let me say this. I'm speaking for myself, not for Rick, but I have sat and watched this film I don't know how many different times since this incident took place, and I still don't understand it. Rick, I don't know about you. I don't understand it.
Well, the night in Mobile, I had a chance to be there, and in watching the match from the vantage point where I was up on the stage, a lot of little things escaped me, Robert, that may not notice unless you watch very closely.
Right here,
for
let
instance,
me bring out that point again. You see Armstrong's hands thrown in the air, almost as if he was pleased at the fact that Ron had really tossed that world champion for a shot there and had him going good.
That's the way it appeared to me.
He showed that he was pleased. Now, from the outgoings at the end of the tape, you'll understand clearly that he could not have been pleased. I mean, if Bob Armstrong's going to go along, it's what he's done for 10 years. He's gone along 10 years supposedly being somebody's friend when he don't know what a friend is. He don't understand about that. He's got some need in his body. It's like you said. You don't understand it, and I don't think you'll ever understand it, Charlie, because you're an upstanding man. You're a righteous man. You know what's going on in life, and so you're not ever going to understand that. That's a bad part of professional wrestling right there. We're going to have to live with the Ron Fuller injury, and there's going to be some more injuries.
Ron injured that right knee. We'll see the exact circumstances a little later in the match.
Started the injury on. How many times before this incident, he'd had surgery on that knee 2 times that I know of, and going into that turnbuckle, this really, Rick, I would think, started the injury to Ron right here.
Well, Ron's had to prove himself all through his career that, you know, wrestling after our father, he was very successful, and they said, how good's the older brother going to be in the younger brother? We've been down that road all of our lives, and Ron proved himself in order to get this match with Ric Flair in the first place, and now he, just as it's obvious there, he's turned over Ric Flair's Holt, in which he's beaten so many men with, that figure 4, and I would say that that's putting Ric Flair's in the same position that Ron's in. Ron has a bad knee, he's hurt at this point, but it's obvious that Flair does too.
Can the fact, you know, Bob Armstrong, at the time that Flair was coming into the area, held on to the Southeastern title for so long, could the bitterness of being the Southeastern champion and not getting the title shot, it couldn't make a man do what you're fixing to see, I don't think. Can that?
Well, it's obvious that it did. That, you know, it's like a disease that grows on some people. It's like you saying you don't understand. I cannot understand. All I can do about it is just police the situation. That's my brother. And he means more to me than anything else in the world. He's my blood, my brother. And I'm back here, and people say, well, maybe you're not in condition, maybe you're not ready, this and that and the other. Well, put all of that aside, because I decided now was my time to come back, and I'm sitting here. I got a lot of fans that agree with me for sitting here and will back me down the road 100%.
Well, I'm sure all the fans realize just exactly why you're coming back. They're watching it on television right now. But Robert, you yourself, not too very long ago, suffered a very, very serious injury to your neck. And this presents problems not only in re-injuring the neck, but in training and preparing yourself for getting back in the ring.
I'll tell you, boy, that's a hard pill to take right there. To stand and have to watch, you know, I've seen this thing, but I don't know how to watch it and try to mellow out my mind. There ain't no way to do it that I feel something inside, and there ain't no way to hold it in.
I know
you
that.
asked me to come out here, and I'm trying to be a gentleman about the thing. I realize this is not a time to wrestle Bob Armstrong. It's a time to talk about him. I'll get my future chance to get in the ring with him, and I'm telling you what, Bob Armstrong, I don't have zero respect for you, man. None at all. You no place in my mind but where the dogs lay. I can beat Bob Armstrong, and I'm back here to prove it. I'm going to beat him and beat him good.
Here's an interesting situation. The Universal Heartthrob coming in the ring. He puts that figure 4 on the champion, which I tell you, had the champion's attention.
He's a good man. I have to say that for him, not because he saved my brother, but it's obvious to the people that he's got a good heart. And I appreciate him being there in that spot. And I just want to say this, you know, Charlie, I get up this particular morning, I look at the sky, and it's a happy day for me in and out all through the day because I don't hurt. I don't have any injuries, see. And I've been around a long time, for 10 years. I don't have to go down to Bob Armstrong and tell him what I'm going to do to him or how I'm going to hurt him or this and that. It's not necessary to my fans or to Bob Armstrong. He knows what he's done, and he's going to have to pay for it.
Thank you very much. Still, I do not understand the situation. You have seen what has happened, and Robert Fuller definitely upset about the situation, and rightfully so. A lot of action coming your way in the next hour on Southeastern Wrestling. Let's go to the ring.
Something I felt I had to do, and I'm not ashamed of it, but I don't owe anybody an explanation for anything that I do. I'm my own man. I'm not an island, but I can handle my affairs, and I don't owe anybody anything.
Let's take a look at the videotape highlights of the match. Ron Fuller against Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. You were special referee.
That's right.
And what is going through your mind?
Well, you can see right here that I'm doing an excellent job as a referee. Now, Ron Fuller went and got the Fuller toe hold, which is famous. I asked the champion. He would not give up. I didn't want to embarrass Ron Fuller by the champion not giving up on his best hold, so I'm actually doing the boy a favor. I'm dropping on him. I dropped a knee on him. And listen, he had a chance. Everybody says I backed John. He was right there. It was just me and him. The champion just rolled over and took advantage of a 1-2-3 count. Now, there's the 1-2-3, and the match was over. I just did Ron Fuller a favor. He needed a third operation anyway. He'd had 2 already, and 3 strikes, you're out. Now, he had what they call orthoscopic surgery, and here he comes and jumps on me after I tried to do him a favor. Look at him trying to nail me. Luckily, Ric Flair saw the action there and took that knee down again. Now, I said right there, Rick, let's just put this boy out. He's gone too far. He had my match anyway. If I'd had this match, I would be world champion. Now, you can see right here that I put the quietus to Mr. Ron Fuller, and that spelled operation number 3. Like I say, 3 strikes, you're out. Now, nobody knew that I knew the spinning toe hold that I'm a master of. You can see me right here. I'm really spinning, and I'm grinding on that leg, and I could hear it pop every time I spun. And I was saying, Ron, this is for you. You don't need to be in wrestling anymore. You got those bad legs. I was doing him a favor. Orthoscopic surgery may save him and may not. And here, Ric Flair was doing me a favor by keeping people out of my way where I could get the job done that I had to do. So I don't see anything really spectacular. I hear you've had cards and letters from everybody, and promoters are upset and fans are upset. So what?